Greetings to everyone. It is time for chemistry, and my name is Mugumya Osward. And today our lesson is about carbonates and hydrogen. Carbonates. So remember, these are compounds of carbon. So that's what we shall focus on today. So our main focus today is about sodium carbonate. So what we are having here in the brackets, this is the chemical. This is the chemical formula of sodium carbonate. What do we know about sodium carbonate? One, sodium carbonate is an ionic compound. Secondly, it is resistant to heat, or we can say does not decompose on heating, and also it is amongst the soluble carbonates, that is apart from potassium carbonate and ammonium carbonate. So we continue. We want to look at the preparation of sodium carbonate. So we have two ways of how we can prepare this. One is while we in the laboratory. So we shall first look at the preparation of sodium carbonate in the laboratory, and this is the procedure. So what do we need? We shall need carbon dioxide and also concentrated sodium hydroxide solution. So in this case, how do we get carbon dioxide? We need to first prepare carbon dioxide gas. And how do we do that? It is just a matter of getting dilute hydrochloric acid, then we react it with calcium carbonate. Then we shall be able to get carbon dioxide. So once we get carbon dioxide, and we pass it through a fairly concentrated sodium hydroxide solution until in excess. So it means that our carbon dioxide gas, this one here, it must be in excess, so that we can get a white precipitate of sodium hydrogen carbonate. Remember, this can happen in two ways. The first one is when you have less carbon dioxide and you pass it through concentrated sodium hydroxide solution, you will not form sodium hydrogen carbonate. Instead, you first form sodium carbonate, whereby when you add more carbon dioxide, then you form sodium hydrogen carbonate. So those are two different ways. So we can have the formation of sodium hydrogen carbonate passing through two stages. One, we first form sodium carbonate, that is when we have less carbon dioxide gas. Then secondly, we can add straight away excess carbon dioxide gas, then we form sodium hydrogen carbonate. So this is the equation. So you can see that in the first stage we are having sodium hydroxide reacting with carbon dioxide. So here it means that we are having less carbon dioxide. So we are having less carbon dioxide gas, and that is why we first form sodium carbonate. Remember, you say that this is a soluble salt, that's why we're calling it aqueous. Then second, having formed sodium carbonate, we add excess carbon dioxide gas, and when we add excess carbon dioxide gas to the already formed solution of sodium carbonate, then we shall form sodium carbonate. So remember, we are preparing sodium carbonate. Why shouldn't we stop here? When we are preparing sodium carbonate, it is because here we need a solid. We need sodium carbonate which is in a solid form, but here we are having aqueous. So we need to first form this, then after we shall see how to get sodium carbonate. So from here we have prepared sodium carbonate, and we are calling it a white precipitate. So this is our diagram. Here we are having dilute hydrochloric acid reacting with calcium carbonate. So remember, I said that these two, whenever we have calcium carbonate reacting with dilute hydrochloric acid, these two will give us carbon dioxide gas. Whereby when we get carbon dioxide gas, we pass it through sodium hydroxide solution. Then we shall be able to have our sodium hydrogen carbonate. So having formed our carbon dioxide from here, from this reaction that took place in the flask, Then carbon dioxide, in this case, is formed with traces of the acid. Hydrochloric acid is a fuming acid, so normally its traces come with a gas that is being formed, and in this case it is carbon dioxide. So what do? We pass the gas in water so that the traces of the acid are absorbed from the water. Then from that tube or that wash bottle, we shall only have carbon dioxide going up, which is dissolved in or passed through sodium hydroxide solution. Remember, here we are having excess carbon dioxide gas, and therefore we shall form sodium hydrogen carbonate as a precipitate or a solid. So that is why we are having it here. These black particles you are seeing, this is a sodium hydrogen carbonate. So what we had at first, that was the theory. Then now what we are looking at is the diagram, just in case it comes in your assignments. Then you should be able to produce both the theory and the diagram. Let's continue. So when we continue, having formed our sodium hydrogen carbonate, and we are saying that the white precipitate of sodium hydrogen carbonate is filtered off and washed and dried. So remember, when we are forming it, it had also some sodium hydroxide that didn't form sodium hydrogen carbonate. So our interest is in sodium hydrogen carbonate, so that's why we filtered it off from the rest of the components. Then we wash it. How do we wash it? Here we can get, since it is a precipitate, we can get distilled water. Then we pour it on top. Then after, we dry it. At times you can either put it outside in the sunshine, or you can squeeze it between filter papers. Then from there, the sodium hydrogen carbonate is heated strongly. So this word here is very important. There must be strong heating until no further water vapor and carbon dioxide are given off. Remember, from the general properties, whenever you heat a carbonate or a hydrogen carbonate, it has to produce water vapor and also carbon dioxide gas. That is the principle. So the moment we heat sodium hydrogen carbonate strongly until no further water vapor and carbon dioxide are given off, this leaves a white powder of sodium carbonate. So this white powder, this is the one we are interested in, the formation of the white powder of sodium carbonate. Being a white powder does not mean that it is not soluble in water. This is like how you have, if you look at glucose is a white powder, but it dissolves in water. So sodium carbonate, being a white powder, still makes it a soluble salt. So from here we have prepared our sodium carbonate. Let's look at the equation. So we are having sodium hydrogen carbonate, which we said is a white precipitate or a solid. On heating, on strong heating, then we are forming our sodium carbonate, then carbon dioxide and water. Remember, I said these ones are produced whenever you heat a carbonate or a hydrogen carbonate. So this is our main product that we are interested in. So from there we have prepared our sodium carbonate.